Welcome back to the Popcorn Prattle podcast. I'm your host Dennis, and this month we're going to be talking about the 1990s and 1989 Batman movies. We're going the first two from Tim Burton, Batman 89, Batman Returns, then the second two from Joel Schumacher, Batman and Robin, and Batman Forever. I got that wrong. I put that in the wrong order. God damn it. It should be Batman Forever is the third one, and then Batman and Robin is the fourth one, which pisses me off to no end, but that's how it released, and that's also how I feel about those two movies. But I'm joined by my guest Pat, who has a totally different sense of the Joel Schumacher movies, at least the first one. We can both agree that the second one is really bad. So Pat and I are going to be going through all four movies and pretty much just going through what we liked the most about each movie and what we liked the least about each movie. And we're going to be giving our overall thoughts, and of course we're going to ramble a bit, but that's what this podcast is. With all that said, I hope you enjoy our conversation, and thank you so much for taking the time to listen. Hello, Patrick.
Hello.
Welcome back to the pod, where we're going to be talking about Batman movies, which I probably already explained in the intro. You have anything to say?
Yeah.
What?
Your intro. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely did an intro for this. This isn't how it's starting. All right. So right away, I want to know three things from you. Before we get into any specifics of the movies, I want to know your favorite movie of the four.
Okay. Right now.
I want to know your favorite Batman, and I want to know your favorite villain.
Okay, I have these answers ready to go. So out of the four, my favorite movie overall, and I thought about this a lot, is Batman Forever.
Okay.
And that's with Val Kilmer and Tommy Two-Tooth Jones. What's his name?
Tommy Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey.
Right.
Best Batman, also Val Kilmer.
Okay.
And my favorite villain, in terms of like actual, okay, it's definitely the Joker. It's definitely Jack Nicholson's Joker is the best villain.
All right, interesting. Yeah,
but that one's close actually between two other villains.
Between two other villains?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll get to it later. All right, I was just curious. I wanted to know where you stood because we've never really talked about these movies before. So the Batman Forever was an interesting pick. I don't agree, but I kind of respect it.
I picked that one only because I think Michael Keaton's a dumb bitch.
Okay.
I don't like him at all. Yeah.
In general or specifically in these movies?
Specifically in these movies.
Interesting.
I think I just really hate his hair.
His hair is annoying. Everyone's hair is kind of annoying in these movies, actually. Maybe it's just a 90s thing. Yeah, not Val Kilmer. That's a fact. Definitely not. Is it because Val Kilmer is actively trying to get fucked by Nicole Kidman?
Everybody in all of these movies is actively trying to get fucked by anybody.
Especially Danny DeVito. He's so gross. He's the best.
He wants it so bad.
Dude, fun fact, Batman Returns is the first movie I ever remember seeing in my life. It's like my first memory of watching a movie is Batman Returns, and rewatching it after I haven't seen that movie in a long time. And just listening to Danny DeVito sexually harass the women in this movie.
It's really bad.
It's so bad. I was watching this when I was like 3. Yeah.
I had never seen any of these, only bits and pieces here and there. I had never seen the original Batman at all, like not even like for a split second. And I had seen bits and pieces of the last three, but never saw them completely. Didn't remember anything that happened really about the plot or about like anything. So this was like a fresh watch for me.
That's cool. Yeah, I've seen them all, but like I kind of just grew up with them, so they're not like movies I've seen within the last 10 years or anything. They were just kind of always on when I was a kid. And I'm a big Batman fan, so I would actively seek out anything with the stupid guy in the cape. So let's get started. Do we want to just start with Batman 89, or do you have anything you'd like to get into?
We can start with Batman 89. I think maybe just talk about the Batman in general, like the Bruce Waynes and the Batman of the four movies, and who is like, and how they compare, and who's the best and who's definitely the worst.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay. I just really like Val Kilmer's Batman in Batman Forever because he has a goddamn brain. Like he's actually like solving, not that the riddles are a big part of the movie, but like he's doing the riddles, he's following clues, he's breaking out of like a bunch of different traps.
Mm-hmm.
He's like out loud thinking with Alfred about what the hell is going on. And none of the other movies, he's just running from place to place, getting his ass kicked.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Val Kilmer is the most like what I think Bruce Wayne is like in my head. Whereas Michael Keaton is like his own thing. Like I don't hate Michael Keaton, but he's not Bruce. Well, like he's not really Bruce Wayne. He's also actively killing people, which is kind of weird.
At every point he kills like 30 to 40 goons at once.
Yeah, he drops like a whole bomb.
Many bombs. The best part of the original Batman is that when he gets a chance to shoot the Joker, he just tries to shoot him dead with a gun. Like
yeah, he just tries to, dude, and that's the only person he couldn't kill in the whole movie. He's like got a Gatling gun and he misses every single fucking shot.
They even show his face and he looks confused. He's like, what? How did I miss? We could talk about just Batman 89 though. There's a lot in that movie.
Okay, but first I want to say George Clooney's the worst Batman.
Yes, he is.
Okay,
I talk shit about Michael Keaton only because I hate his hair, but George Clooney was like terrible, like actually terrible.
Yeah, egregious. Okay, good. I'm glad we could agree on that.
So are all four of these really supposed to be in the same universe, right?
So that's the thing. So the first two were directed by Tim Burton, but then Batman Returns was deemed too dark for McDonald's. So Joel Schumacher stepped in and took over the next two. And they are supposed to be like interconnected, but it's so loose that it's almost like they're two different franchises.
Okay. I thought the last one was Tim Burton. No? I thought I saw his name in the last one.
He executive produced the third one, but he like pretty much wasn't involved in it at all because the studio essentially fired him after Batman Returns, which is pretty rough because I think Batman Returns is my favorite of all of them. I love that movie.
That movie, we'll get to it. I mean,
we'll get to it
that I really like, but a lot of it for me was just like, oh my god, please make this end.
Really, I love that movie. We'll get to it. Yeah, so because it was just so Joel Schumacher was brought in to be more kid friendly, which is why the next two are like so neon and
very
horrible.
Neon. What's with the lighting? The lighting is out of control.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Batman 89. Let's get into that. So I'm going to ask you two things.
Okay.
What was your favorite part about 89? And what did you like the least?
Favorite aspect or like favorite scene?
Favorite overall, what is your favorite thing from the whole movie? It could be anything. Character, scene.
My favorite thing is definitely Jack Nicholson's Joker because it's not that it's perfect. It's definitely like far from perfect, but parts of it are really spectacular. Like especially the very final fight scene and when he's on the ledge and he's like that one is like that really hit. I was like, this guy actually nailed it in this part.
Yeah, he's pretty good, especially because if you think about the previous live action Joker, it was Cesar Romero from the 1960s show and he had like a painted over mustache. Like there was, he's like considering what came before him. I think he did a pretty fucking good job.
Yeah, he definitely did his homework and pulled it together.
Yeah, like I think my favorite. Oh, go ahead.
When they're fighting and he, like Batman's like punching him in the head over and over, and he like turns and puts the glasses on. He's like, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses. I was like, I love this.
Yeah, that was great.
So silly.
I love when he's going into I don't know if it was like a museum or a restaurant, wherever the fuck they are, when he goes to get like Vicky Vale. And he's just like, he comes in with his goon squad and like playing music and he's just like painting over everything. I was like, this is so cartoony and just wacky. Yeah. I love it. Like you could obviously never see like Heath Ledger's Joker doing something like that, but it works in this movie because he's a fucking bloated cartoon man. Like he's ridiculous.
I like how they gave him an origin too. I feel like maybe that was at the time when his origin wasn't like so sacred like it is now.
Yeah.
Like no, but it was like just fun to see. Just like, hey, here's exactly what happened, and here's who he was before, and this is why he likes crime. Like,
right, and they tie it in with. They probably felt the need to kind of tie it in with Batman, just to make it more digestible for an audience that doesn't know anything about these characters.
Yeah, my least favorite part of that movie though is the plot, because the plot is basically that they both just exist separately and that they both want to smash Vicky Vale. And that's why they have a conflict. And then Joker's just like, you know what? I'm just going to kill everybody then. Like, because I can't date Vicky Vale, I'm going to shoot all these innocent people with or poison them with this gas. And that's like the whole point, is that they both want to hook up with this girl. And I'm like, that's not really what it's about at all.
Yeah, sure. I think that's actually probably a weak point for all of these movies. The plots, it's not about the plots.
It is not, is what I learned after the second one. I was like, okay, so no plot at all.
Yeah. The thing I like the most about 89 is like the overall atmosphere and like art of the movie. Like the design of Gotham City feels like so perfect. Like it's like this colossal Goliath, like almost feels dystopian in a way.
Yeah. A lot of like steampunky elements. I have the same note here. Like when they show the setting of the city, I was like, oh shit, that's it.
Yeah,
like, that looks so good.
They nail what Gotham looks like. And I think like even the lighting and the smoke and stuff around like the different characters, like it's just a very atmospheric movie. I really enjoy just the direction. Like I think Tim Burton does a great job establishing like a mood for the movie that's perfect for this like Batman and Joker. Like it just works really well. So that's my favorite thing. My least favorite thing is the reporter, the Knox guy, the guy who's also trying to fuck Vicky Vale.
Everybody in this movie wants a piece. Yeah. Everybody.
That's true. He was just, I mean, honestly, I really like this movie. I think I gave it a 4 stars out of 5. Like I really fucking like this movie. But it's kind of a nitpick, but he's just kind of fucking annoying. Like he's just the worst character in the movie.
He is he just slows it down. He's just like got some quip, and he's just in every scene quipping it through like every other line.
Right. Yeah. It's trying too hard. And the movie almost uses him to bring us into the world of Gotham. And then he just kind of falls off, which is weird. So it just, I felt like they could have done something better than him being like our entry. We meet Bruce Wayne through this fucking guy bringing Vicky Vale to Bruce Wayne's house, and then he's just like ripping into Bruce Wayne to Bruce Wayne. He doesn't recognize Bruce Wayne. He's lived in this. He's a reporter in Gotham City. Like
I've never seen him before in his life.
So he's never seen him on TV or in the news. Whatever. Yeah. So I didn't care for him, but I was going to say something I totally forget. Yeah, but Jack Nicholson's Joker, love that Joker.
He's a good Joker. I mean, I personally, the scene you said where you really like the dancing with the music, I thought it was super silly, but that scene, I was like, what? Like, come on, can this stop? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah,
but that's only because they're doing it just to get to Vicky. And I was like, I'm just tired of this Vicky obsession.
Yeah. Yeah, they do use her as like a crutch in the movie for sure. Like the whole plot does revolve around her. And then she's just gone in the next movie. Every woman in this series is just gone the next movie. Fuck them.
They give them one line. He was like, I used to date somebody named Vicky. Just to give like continuity. And then they never talk about it
exactly.
Again.
Yeah, it just didn't work out between us.
Right.
She knows I'm Batman though.
So let that one slide. Let her live. Even though I'll kill anybody else who knows.
Right. Oh, the other thing, the theme song, this is like what I think of like Batman theme songs. It's so good.
I had the same note. I said the music is absolutely iconic. Yeah. Like it started off, I was like, this is it. This is the exact song.
It's so fucking good. Yeah, everything like around the movie, like the production of the movie, I think is absolutely fantastic. Like I get why this movie blew the fuck up and why there was one, in my opinion, really good sequel, and then two, in my opinion, eh, third movie, and then dog shit fourth movie. But we'll
The
get
fourth
to that.
movie is bad,
So bad.
but
Is there anything you want to say about 89 before we move on to Batman Returns?
just I guess just that like the bat suit, the Batmobile, and this one is my favorite Batmobile.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
The
I
bat.
agree.
This is like my least favorite. No, this is my second least favorite bat suit.
Yeah, it's too
entirely rubber, and I was cracking up because if he wants to look up, he has to bend his whole body. Like he has no neck mobility at all.
Yeah.
And like the combat is also super weak. I wasn't expecting like Jason Statham transporter combat, but like
he gets fucked up in this movie.
Who fucks him up? Oh, all the
goons just like kick his ass all the time, but he's always like obviously fine. But like the first scene he's in, he gets like just knocked down. He gets shot right away.
I guess they try to make him look pretty green since they're like, oh, who is the bad? I guess he's like kind of supposed to be new.
I guess he's supposed to be newish.
But one scene, he has the cops coming from both directions, and he looks horrified. Like he has no idea what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I guess he's supposed to be. They don't really get too much into it, but I guess the city doesn't really know if Batman's real or not, so he must be kind of new.
Yeah, I have some other like complaints with the movie, just like scene wise. Like in the last fight scene, when Vicky goes to like go down on the Joker to distract him, and like that's her big play, and then I have a note here like loses due to horniness. Like
that's a theme with this series, though. Loses due to horniness.
They just drop dead horny and they get distracted and they lose.
Exactly. That's their one weakness.
Just so stuff like that. I was like, that's just a really weak way to write the fight.
Yeah.
Which is annoying. But then they also like save the fight when he's like got blood pouring out of his mouth and he's screaming in laughter, like doubling over, stomping on their hands. I'm like, this is more like it.
Yeah. He also dies pretty brutally. He has like he's getting pulled. He's holding on the helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
And he's getting like the gargoyle pulling him down the earth. And then
that was really, really dark.
Yeah, because then he's like fucking shattered on the concrete with like the little like laughing thing with his smile. I like that. I thought that was a nice touch.
No, this one is definitely it's my second favorite only because of the plot that I think is so weak and because I don't love Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne or as Batman.
Right. Yeah, I think he's everyone's like, oh, Michael Keaton's so good at Batman. I think Michael Keaton is just fine. Like he's not insulting me. He's almost not even Batman. Like he's just like this movie's version of Batman who is just kind of a guy who exists.
Just a guy.
Doesn't really have much of a personality.
Looks like he teaches high school jazz. Like just looks like a fucking dude.
Yeah, he doesn't give off like the billionaire playboy vibe at all, which is fine. I mean, this is like, again, this is coming off of Adam West, so anything I guess is. Yeah. I mean, I love the Adam West thing, but totally different. It's a totally different kind of thing. So coming off of that, I guess this is a big improvement, but still not fantastic.
Agreed.
All right, Batman Returns.
That's all I have.
This is my fucking favorite one, but I want
to ask you why.
I just love. Okay, well, my favorite part of the whole movie is Catwoman. I think Catwoman is absolutely fantastic in this movie. What did I write? I wrote down something. The one thing I agree with you with is the plot is pretty weak. My least favorite thing in the movie is Penguin's scheme kind of goes nowhere, and it's just kind of. He's just kind of spinning his wheels until the third act, and he's like, now I'm going to kill everyone's kids or whatever.
Yeah, it's like not even his scheme. He's like, so what? He wanted to kill his parents, right? And then they weren't around.
No, I think he wanted to, because I think he already knew his parents were dead. And then and then he had his like circus crew, because there's a scene in the movie where where Batman's like researching Penguin, like the circus that he used to travel around with, I guess. And there's like missing kids in every city they went. And then at the end, Penguin's like trying to kill everyone's firstborn son. So I guess his plan all along was to do that, which is why he's looking like through the city records and taking notes. Like he was planning to kill everyone's kids, which is super fucked up and dark.
Everyone's kids.
He's trying to kill everyone's firstborn son.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, I guess not everyone, but like the elite of Gotham.
Class, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, but then he has this whole like mayor thing in the middle, which is kind of interesting, but it doesn't go anywhere. So that's my biggest problem is the plot is weak in this.
I like that more. I was like, oh, cool. His like sudden rise to like government. Now he has to fight like a political figure in the spotlight. Right. I was like, oh, that could be cool. And then his rally goes south and they're just like, fuck you, idiot.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like that, his plan is just, it's like he has a plan and then he has a totally different plan. And then he goes back to his original plan. It's like, there's no, it's just, I would have liked it if the whole time he was like, he was already established as like a mayoral candidate or something. That could have been interesting. But I also like that he's a gross sewer man. So Danny
DeVito's like costume in this and his like acting is great, but the writing for him and everybody in this movie is bad. Like, because he's, first of all, most of the time he's just gargling and choking or absolutely wheezing, and I don't know what he's saying. I had to turn subtitles on. I was like, what, dude? Like, your mouth is pouring green blood. I can't hear you.
Dude, he is a fucking grotesque monster. Like, he's so disgusting in this movie.
So over the top.
It's dude, I can't even imagine like the writer's room. Like, how did they come up with this take on the Penguin? Like, it's so gross. He's like, I don't know, he's a character named the Penguin. Maybe we'll just make him a mutant who lives in the sewer with a circus troupe. It's just like, what the fuck? But I love it. It's so weird. I just love how fucking weird this movie is. It feels like Tim Burton is at an 11. Like, there's like Batman 89 was such a success. They're like, do whatever you want, Tim. And he fucking did it. And goddamn.
And then they're like, too much, buddy. You're fired.
You got fired.
You gotta go.
You flew too close to the sun. What? Okay. What do you think about Catwoman?
My favorite thing about this movie was the Bruce and Selena / Batman Catwoman like relationship. It felt like super genuine. Like their scenes together when they were like not in costume, I was like, I feel this. This feels legit. Like this actually feels like a real film.
And the ball at the end, the masquerade ball. That one was a really good fucking scene. And the best part about that, not the best part about the scene, but a fun little thing about that scene is they're the only two not wearing masks in that scene, which I thought was a nice little touch.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
So I liked that. I didn't like Catwoman solo scenes because they made her talk all sexy, like a sexy cat, and she's licking her leather and she puts a bird in her mouth and it's gross.
Yeah, she's a total loon.
Her solo scenes, I just like, if she just talked normally, they're fine.
But no, I love the way she talks. I'm totally into it.
Oh God, I thought it was so played up.
I love it.
But I know you like that like weird commitment to this shit, and like the more insane it can be, like the better. But that kind of annoyed me.
I just love how she's like fucking snapped. Like she's just a fucking kook now.
Absolute lunatic.
That's so good. But the reason I like it is because that scene in the ballroom when she's there to assassinate Christopher Walken, who we will get to. And she's like, she's completely broken and she's like crying in Bruce's arms. And she's a shattered human being. And I don't know. I just really like seeing her on screen because she's just like this tragic character who's kind of fucking hardcore. She kisses Christopher Walken to death with a taser on her tongue. She goes out like a mother. She gets shot 4 times. She's like, that's one life, bitch. Like she just keeps taking bullets. She's a motherfucker in this movie. And I love her.
I was very confused. I'm like, oh wait, she literally has 9 lives. I'm like, you shot her 6 times and she's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. The cool thing about the Tim Burton movies, I think, is they almost have this like feeling of like otherworldly like mythology with the characters. Like they feel more than human.
It's supernatural. It's borderline supernatural, and it's really cool.
Hold on, something just popped up. Oh, I think we're good.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
saw
get
that.
pop up?
Yeah, I cleared out of it too.
Okay, cool.
What my least favorite thing about this movie is probably a tie between, again, just the general plot, and Christopher Walken's character of Max Shrek.
I had one note in my phone for Christopher Walken, and it was just Christopher Walken is styling in this movie. His hair is on like another level. He is ridiculous.
He's absolutely styling, but like his character serves just like no purpose.
Yeah,
he's just like a rich guy who's just around.
Yeah.
And then he just like gets caught up in the penguin stuff because he doesn't want to get murdered. And then he like just gets captured for no reason.
Right.
I don't know. It just like, I don't know. I didn't like his character. It just felt like a really weird force into the movie.
Yeah, he was plot wise, he definitely is a little strange to stick in that movie. I don't know. I had to love Christopher Walken, and I thought he was such a weird fucking freak in this movie that whenever I didn't hate seeing him on screen, but I totally get your criticism that he really just kind of feels shoehorned in.
Yeah, he does. And looking at my notes now, every one of my complaints is about the plot, like how they just jam the signal twice in the movie. To defeat Penguin both times, all they do is jam his fucking signal. And
with the Batmobile and then with the remote control of penguins.
Well, with the penguins, the Batmobile, and with the speech when they jam the signal and take over the speakers, like 3 times they do.
Wasn't that the same thing as the Batmobile, or was that different?
It was different scenes.
Oh yeah, no, they didn't jam anything for the Batmobile. I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking about. He just broke it off into the Bat Pod, didn't he?
I think he reached under and he grabbed it and smashed it, and then he got control back. But still, so just a lot of like signal jacking in this movie.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of scenes where like Bruce goes out on the street of Gotham and just like happens to walk into Selena in the middle of the city. And it just like really weak writing stuff again. So my same problem with the first one is my problem with this one, just really weak writing that I felt didn't have to be weak. You could just make it good and like don't have to do this. But that's also just movies in the 80s and 90s are just pretty much bad. So
yeah, I think it's just a product of its time. Like I don't think they were really focused. I mean, because they are obviously trying to tell a story, but I don't think they're trying to tell a story so much through clever narrative. I think it's more like it's also obviously a kid's movie. Like it's supposed to be for children, despite how fucking dark it is. So it is interesting. It is a good criticism. The plots are weak. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I guess the other thing is that Batman continues to murder people in this.
He burns a dude right away with the like flame from the Batmobile.
He sets him on fire and leaves him to burn to death in the street. Like
so brutal.
It's really rough. So
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like the Michael Keaton Batmans, I don't like. He's not Batman. He's like a separate thing, like an alternate universe Batman where he's just Michael Keaton and he just casually murders people and it's not a big deal. That's Commissioner Gordon doesn't seem to have a problem with it, so neither do I.
Nobody cares. The cops are like, go ahead, kill that fucking guy,
fucking burn him, Batman.
Come down from the sky in a Batwing and shoot this crowd of people dead. We love you.
You're our hero. Yeah, with Batman Returns, I think that's really it for me. You got anything, or should we move on?
Nah, we can move on. That's it for me.
Okay. Actually, going off of this string of Batman murdering people, I thought it was really interesting that Batman Forever suddenly is like Batman doesn't kill anyone, and it's a major plot point of the movie because he's trying to get Robin not to kill Two-Face the whole time.
Yeah, I like that. I like because it felt way more like the Batman stuff that I'm accustomed to is the newer stuff where like Batman not killing is the sacred rule and stuff. Yeah. So
no, I did like that in this movie.
Familiar to me,
right? But okay, so what's your favorite thing about this one?
Like I think it's just a switch from. I really like Val Kilmer's active Batman. It feels Like he fights way better.
Yeah.
He's getting out of traps. He's using his brain. Like the suit's actually like dope. And
yeah, the suit is better in this one. This is probably the best suit.
And what he's doing, they have a scene where he like jumps off a building and falls for like 60 stories. Like he's doing stuff that's way more death defying and like Batman-esque. So watching it is much more exciting than watching Michael Keaton see like a 2-story roof and be like, fuck, how do I get off this roof? Like,
right. Yeah, they definitely cranked it up like to be more I don't want to say actually, I guess like cartoony. They made it a little more cartoony, but not in a bad way. Well,
yeah.
With some instances, it's bad.
A lot of these movies are very comic booky. They're very comic booky, which I appreciate. They're just like, just do what the comics do, whatever they want. So
right.
like they follow that. I also really like Jim Carrey's Riddler, not the Riddler costume, but I like
how fucking committed he is to doing this character.
Yes. But then again, I don't like that him and Two-Face are basically just both doing a Joker.
Dude, my biggest problem, the thing I hate about this movie is Two-Face. Like my number one biggest problem is Tommy Lee Jones trying so hard to out Jim Carrey. It's so weird. You're so never gonna do weird. Apparently there was like on-set beef between the two of them, which is why he's being like a fucking over-the-top loser in this movie, because he's literally trying to like upstage Jim Carrey, and he's so bad at it.
Their villain combo, you need to have a straight man. Two-Face should have been the straight man, where he's like,
or at least a half of them. Like you had 3 personalities, and Two-Face is he's just one guy who's wacky. He doesn't have the split personality.
But neither does Two-Face though. Like they talk.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Two-Face doesn't have a split personality.
And it's so that was annoying.
Two-Face is dog shit in this movie. I think he's awful. Bad.
I like his costume though, but
I love his costume.
That means nothing. But all he wants to do is just kill Batman, and that's it. And that's all he ever tries to do ever. But like really poorly. He's not very good at it.
Dude, the worst part is, remember they set up fucking Billy D. Williams and Batman 89, Lando Calrissian. Remember he's in Batman 89 as Harvey Dent. And then they just bring in Tommy Lee Jones. I would have loved fucking Lando. That would have been awesome.
I think he would have been good. Because he was a good like political Harvey Dent in that movie. I even had a note that like, this is good casting for Harvey Dent. That's cool. And then they just abandoned him. Is James Gordon the same guy all 4 films?
I think Gordon and Alfred are the same.
Gordon's a fat shit.
Gordon is barely a character in these fucking movies. He is not even a person.
He provides no help at all. All he does is turn on the switch on the bat light, and he just takes off.
He's just like a clown, especially in actually, I think especially in Forever, he's just like a bumbling buffoon. Like, because Nicole Kidman's character is like really essentially Commissioner Gordon in this, to like show up and be like, here's the scoop on the villains, and I'm doing the signal now. Fuck me. And Gordon walks in, he's like, hey, what's going on here? You guys fucking on the roof?
Can I hang out and watch?
No one invited me.
This has this one has Chase Meridian. That's the love interest.
Dr. Chase Meridian. Hold on, I'm gonna crack.
Yeah. Dr. Chase to you.
That's Dr. Chase Meridian to you, pal.
I ended up she started off, I was like, cool, an absolute like smoke show 1994 babe, like great.
Dude, talk about horny.
Dude, she cannot, first of all, make up her mind. Second of all, like, just stop trying to fuck Batman at all times.
She's hornier for Batman than Catwoman was.
Yeah, she's bad. She like cannot control herself.
She's like, oh, this leather, like rubbing his like fake pecs. It's just what was he gonna do? Like bang her through the suit? It's all rubber. He'd have to take off the full pants. Like he'd have to just have it all off, but just keep the top on. Like,
so exposed. You look so exposed.
He couldn't even put it back on. Dude, remember Michael Keaton would like rip off his cowl? Like he's obviously couldn't put that back on. So I imagine all the bat suits have to be like disposable like that. So Val Kilmer would just have to walk out without any pants. You just have to zip home.
Rip them off, throw them in the garbage.
Yeah.
But I ended up liking her doing like the psychoanalysis stuff as they got closer.
Her scenes with Bruce Wayne, I think, are really good. Her scenes with Batman, I think, are fucking pretty bad.
they're annoying because she's just so horny she can't talk. But then like when they actually get down to like talking about his past and like trauma and stuff, that was really interesting, and I thought that was good, which is one of the things that I liked. But the main reason I like this movie so much is just Val Kilmer, just him. I just think he's like a much better actor, and he's like it feels way more like Bruce Wayne is on scene and in the room and like running the business and stuff.
Yeah, he has a presence.
He does have a presence.
One of my favorite. There's actually a good YouTube video, unrelated, that's about like the story Joel Schumacher was trying to tell in this movie. That like a lot of it ended up on the cutting room floor, which really focused in on Batman, like Bruce's journey in the movie. I'll send you the video after. It's pretty fucking good. Cool. And it makes me appreciate this movie a lot more, actually, because I think a lot of it kind of got fucked with in the studio. But
it feels like it did.
Yeah, it feels like they didn't quite tell the story they wanted to. But what's your least favorite part of this movie?
For the third time, it's the plot of this villainous device that you stick on your fucking head.
Oh yeah, what, dude? I don't even remember the plot. This movie is so fucking. So it's the Riddler is trying to suck everyone's brain juice to make himself smarter, right?
He wants to be wicked smart, even though he's already like wicked smart. So he wants to be the most smart.
Yeah.
And then Two-Face is just like, sure, that sounds fun. I could be less dumb. Let's do that together. So then they build in apparently 0 days this massive blender-looking thing in the ocean that sucks all of these brainwaves off the TV, and they're constantly sticking into their dumb heads and sucking down brain juice. And first of all, they don't get smarter ever. Like Jim Carrey doesn't get smarter. He gets, if anything, dumber, and like doesn't have a.
He has that one moment at the very end where he gets like too smart and he gets like dumb, or does he like it doesn't reverse and they suck out all his brain? I don't even know.
I think they reverse it, and it like gives it all back, and he becomes like dumb, and then he becomes insane.
Yeah.
But I also like. So that was at least I like that, like the half-baked science of that and like the half-baked everything of that was super annoying to me. Also just didn't feel very villainous. like I want to be really smart. I was like, okay.
I think the villains in all the Joel Schumacher ones are like pretty fucking weak. Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't know. I like Jim Carrey's commitment as Riddler, but I think their take on the Riddler in this movie is not that interesting.
It's not fresh. It started off okay, and I like where they were going, and then it got really bad.
It moved too quick. Really like he was like obsessed with Bruce Wayne, and then that was that, and then he was suddenly murdering his manager, and then he was the Riddler. It just moved so fast. There was no time to develop. Yeah. I don't know who this guy is, and now he's dressed in a green leotard, sucking everyone's brain out. Like it was so weird.
Has he killed before? Because he killed that guy with no hesitation.
Yeah. I don't know. It was weird.
Another thing that I liked was the introduction of Dick Grayson.
That's my favorite thing in the movie is the developing relationship between Batman and Robin.
It feels legit in this one because he's like lost and upset, and he's like, I'm just gonna murder everybody. Batman's like, well, let's talk about the murder.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I think Robin is too old. He's like fucking 25 and he's moving in with like an almost equally aged man, which is kind of weird. He's like maybe 10 years younger than Bruce, but it's...
Yeah. They talk about being brothers, and I'm like, I feel like it's kind of supposed to be father and son and not like brothers.
Brothers.
Yeah, so they kind of make it seem like he's supposed to be younger based on like their verbal stuff. Like he's like college or whatever. Like,
yeah, he's obviously supposed to be like 18 or something, like on the border of being a full-grown adult.
That guy, the
actor's probably like 25 at least. Yeah,
at least, probably older. That guy's a fully grown adult now. It's like, you're not my dad. He's like, I know.
He's like, right, I know. we both know that.
Right, obviously.
Yeah, but I do like. First of all, I like that they did Robin in a live action fucking series with Batman. It's been so long since there's been a live action Robin in a movie. So at least they had the guts to bring in Dick Grayson. And they did like his origins. I mean, they tied it in with Two-Face, which is kind of weak, but they did his like origin story with his family dying, the Flying Graysons, which I think was cool.
Yeah.
He moves in. He has a good relationship with Alfred, which is always the best thing in the world. And he's kind of a bitch, but then like, Bruce is like, "Don't be such a bitch." He's like, "All right, I won't be such a bitch anymore." They have like a good arc. It's nothing crazy, but they give Robin something to do.
I really liked it. I was afraid when they were like, "Oh, he's gonna be Robin." I was like, "Oh shit! Wait, does this suck?" I don't remember, and it didn't suck at all. Like,
Yeah,
I
it doesn't
actually loved
suck.
it.
Yeah,
And also his costume rips. His costume good. Absolutely rips. He looks so good.
I think I like his costume in the next movie a little bit better because, I just
don't like that one.
Well, it's just the Nightwing costume with a cape, which is kind of why I like it. But this Robin costume, I think this costume is good, and I think the one he has in the first half of the next movie is good. But this one is like a good Robin costume. The other one isn't really a Robin costume.
Yeah, not really. He even wants to be called Nightwing. He's like, "Call me Nightwing." He's like, "No, ew."
No, I won't do that.
Yeah, you wish, idiot.
But yeah, no, I do like Robin in this movie. What does he do? A bike race or something?
In the next one?
In this one, doesn't he do like some kind of? Doesn't he takes the Batmobile when he first finds the cave? He does like a drag race in the Batmobile. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think does he do a drag race? Remember the Joyride? And he just goes and he like saves that girl from getting like murdered by.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, he saves that girl who's going to get like, brutally assaulted by like 20 dudes,
20 or more. Yeah, like, and that seems like they do that a lot. So they
do that a lot. Which is a horrifying implication for a children's movie. It's just these stray women getting abducted by gangs of creeps. Like, especially I think in the next one, especially there's like a gang of like neon face. Of course, it's neon like face painted cretins. Like, it's deeply upsetting, but
they're creepy as hell. I don't like them, but
no, not at all. But yeah, so I think that's all I had for Batman Forever. Yeah, my biggest problem. Yeah. Did you say what you hated about this movie? You said the plot.
Again, it's just the plot. The writing of the plot makes no sense. But one thing I did want to just say quick is like you said, Robin's arc, like when he saves Two-Face and is like, "All right, you know what? I'm gonna save your ass," and saves him, and then gets betrayed by him. He's like, "Oh, you motherfucker! Like, you got me good." So I don't know. I think it's like a double-edged like learning moment where it's like, "Oh, cool! Like, you're not going to kill him, but also like definitely be careful because they will kill you."
They are loons. Yeah, dude. I fucking hate Two-Face in this movie. I can't get over how bad he is in this fucking movie.
He's just doing a Joker, and they don't lean into.
He's doing a Joker, but he also has a coin. Like, that's his whole thing.
Yeah.
The worst part
is flipping the coin till he gets what he wants. I'm like, what's the point of any of what you're doing with the character?
It's weird that he has. I think him having those like two like ladies is kind of interesting, but they don't do anything with that. And one of them is Drew Barrymore, by the way, which is weird.
I did not know that.
I think it's the good one. It's like the white clad one was Drew Barrymore. I only realized it this time watching. I was like, "Is that fucking Drew Barrymore?" I saw her in the credits. I was like, "Holy shit!"
I didn't even recognize her.
Yeah, well, she's totally like she's got like a wig on and shit. She looks totally different and young. She's obviously like pretty young. But yeah, the one thing in this movie that like kind of really upset me about Two-Face, then we can move on, is at the very end when Batman like tricks him with all the coins and the Two-Face falls off. Right before that happens, Batman's like, "Oh, Harvey, wait. Don't do this. You got to flip the coin, don't you?" And then he's like, "Thanks, Bruce. You know, you've always been such a good friend to me." Like, they give him like a hint of like a really interesting backstory with Bruce Wayne that they don't do anything with.
Bruce? He says Bruce? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Well, he knows that it's Bruce because remember they figure it out. That's why they go to the manor.
Right. Oh, right.
So he knows that it's Bruce. So he's like, "Thank you, Bruce. Like, you've always been such a good friend." Goes to flip the coin. Batman fucking kills him.
I also like that. I like that they discovered his identity with the mind reading stuff. Yeah. And then like I thought that was just interesting because like that's the Batman, that's the worst thing that can happen is the villains finding out.
Right.
First of all, who you are, where your cave is, destroy all your shit.
Yeah. No, that is an interesting sequence. You don't really see Two-Face and the Riddler destroying the Batcave very often. So that was cool.
Yeah, and that's another thing, like throwing all the coins up in the air and like making him like I guess miss the coin and also lose his balance. But like
Yeah.
just him using his brain. Like if that was Michael Keaton would have just shot him.
Shot him in the head. Like, now who's got two faces, bitch?
So,
Robin would like, what?
Yeah, what about not killing? He's like, shut up, you're next.
I have no witnesses. All right, let's move on to Batman Forever, which I think, can we both say this is by far the worst one?
Do you mean Batman and Robin?
Batman and Robin, yeah. Dude, the names for these movies are ass backwards. The movie where Robin is introduced is called Batman Forever, and the fourth movie is called Batman and Robin. Should have been Batman Forever. Fuck!
Yeah, it absolutely doesn't make any sense.
It confuses the shit out of me every fucking time. And it's not even, because this one isn't even Batman and Robin. It's Batman and Robin and Batgirl.
Yeah, and also, fuck Batgirl.
Batgirl blows in this movie. She's not my worst thing, but she's like gotta be a close number 2 for my worst, most hated thing in this movie. They force her in here so bad, and her costume blows.
Her costume is trash. Poison Ivy's costume is trash.
Poison Ivy go ahead.
Bane's costume is very classic, but honestly, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, but he's just a plant man. Like, he's not Bane.
Oh, yeah. No, he's not Bane. He's just a dumbass. He knows no words.
He's the opposite of what Bane should be.
Mr. Freeze's costume in this movie is sick, though.
Yeah, dude. I was thinking about that the whole time. I'm like, how the fuck did they get Arnold Schwarzenegger to do this? Like, he must have been in makeup for a long time.
Yeah, like in full face and full body sometimes.
And it's like sparkly too. It's not just like paint. It's like they had to like bedazzle him each time he got in the makeup. Yeah, I was really impressed with his suit or his whole get up.
We can just rant on this movie if you want, because pretty much everything is bad.
Okay, well, let's start. There is one positive I have. Do you have any positive or no?
You tell me yours and I'll brainstorm.
Okay. I think this movie treats Alfred more like a character than any other movie in this whole series. I think they give Alfred at least, I don't love what they do with him, but I think at least they're like, hey, guys, Alfred's a character too. At least they acknowledge that he is a person and has a life, which is what that's where I think Barbara works in this movie. Is she even, her name is Barbara, right?
It's Barbara, but obviously it's not Barbara Gordon.
Yeah. Her scenes with Alfred, I think, are good. And I think she serves well to flesh out Alfred as a character, but then they just make her Batgirl and last like 20 minutes and it fucking sucks. But I think Bruce I think Alfred should have died at the end of the movie. I think that would have been better. It would have been sad, but I think that's...
Yeah, I mean, if it's the end of the series that you're doing, and like that's the whole point of his character in this one, just let it happen. Like,
yeah, well, I think they didn't know this was the end, even though they obviously should have. But
Bruce seemed to be pretty cool with him dying. He's like, yeah, he's old, he dies. Huh?
Well, yeah, well, Dick reacts to it. He's like, oh, he's like, what the fuck? Alfred's dying. He's pretty upset.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's not great. It's not, but I think it is at least a positive, I have to say.
I agree. I do like, I mean, Alfred's an absolute gorgeous angel in all these movies. Alfred is
a sweet,
so good. So good.
He's a sweet old man and he deserved his time to shine.
I like when he actually gets technical and he's like behind the computer. Like he jams the signal and turns to Bruce and gives him a thumbs up. He's like 120 years old. Like,
yeah, no, he's fucking fantastic. He's fantastic in all these movies, but I think this one gives him the most to do. But he does have like some good moments throughout every single movie.
He does. He definitely does.
Yeah.
But that's honestly, I agree that that's a positive.
That's the only positive I really have.
I don't have anything else. I don't think of anything else that I like. I think George Clooney is shit.
Terrible.
Shit and written like shit.
Horrible.
His Batman costume.
Nipples.
Bro, the bat nipples.
So bad.
And both of their costumes look worse. The fighting is so cartoony that it's almost, they're fighting like, okay, they surf out of the sky on surfboards. So dumb.
So dumb.
and then like not even like dumb in like a fun way, just dumb.
No, I think that's so fucking dumb, like so beyond dumb that I kind of love it. Like that, but just that one part where there's like, yeah, just like surfing from the atmosphere. I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, fuck it.
Like cowabunga, like rides it into a literal building and escapes down the side of the building.
It's so bad. Yeah, that's terrible, dude. The weirdest part is Mr. Freeze has like wings on his suit. Like he's got like freeze wings.
Flies away. I don't know. The suit's cool. Arnold Schwarzenegger is just such a joke actor that like oh my god, the writing.
Every one of his lines is a fucking ice pun.
All of them. And same with not Black Widow, with Poison Ivy.
Dude, is the worst. She's the thing I hate the most about this movie. I think she is terrible. I think Uma Thurman is at her absolute worst. Has to be the worst performance she's ever done. She is terrible.
It's truly horrible. It's really bad. She's a plant cat woman. Dude,
but without any, like, I know you didn't really care for Catwoman in Batman Returns, but at least she had like some nuance. Poison Ivy is just she is who she needs to be in each scene. They just write her to be how she has to be.
Yes. There's no consistent character. Also, this one is all about everybody being horny for her. And dude, Robin is unbearable in this.
They ruined Robin in this movie. They make him a horny fucking baby. And it's so bad.
All he wants to do is just bang Barbara and then bang Poison Ivy. And then he gets all mad. And then it's like, I don't want to train anymore either. He's like, what's wrong with you, dude?
He is beyond. Focus. He's like drop dead horny in this movie. Like his brain has gone to his ball sack. He has no brain. He is just a fucking idiot in this movie. And that really sucks because I thought in Forever they did him pretty well. Like he's not the best character, but like he had potential and they just make him a horny fucking idiot. It's really disappointing what they do with Robin in this movie. And it's all Poison Ivy's fucking fault. Bitch.
Yeah. I hate all the motorcycle racing and like there's so many distracting things in this that just don't need to happen. I did like their treatment of Mr. Freeze's wife, Nora, right? Nora Freeze. Mm-hmm. I like the treatment of her and how they kind of like humanize him with that. And
that was interesting, but they don't. But also I don't even know, dude. Like, that is fine. I think if Mr. Freeze was paired. Well, first of all, take away all the ice puns. Maybe give him one ice pun in the movie, and then don't have the first fight with him and his goons be an ice hockey fight.
That's was so dumb.
So dumb, dude. They go hard
the whole fight
on the stupid fights.
They all have ice skates, and it goes on for like 15 minutes. I'm like, just leave.
And it's like within the first 2 minutes of the movie, like, all right, now we're fighting. We got ice. We're fighting an ice hockey team. Like a fucking scene out of the Mighty Ducks. Like, I don't know what's going on. It's really fucking awful. But yeah, so dude, Poison Ivy in this movie, all right, she starts out as like a total nerd loser working in some kind of like foreign laboratory with a kook who's selling like super soldiers literally just right next door to her. Like
and she's never realized.
Yeah.
And then it's so complicated that already is so complicated.
Yeah, and then they like and he goes to kill her by like smashing her with chemicals, and then she sinks into the ground, and then she is Poison Ivy, and then she finds Bane. She's like, you're gonna be my little fuck boy for the rest of the movie. You'll show up when I need you to show up, but you won't be in every scene because it doesn't matter because you don't matter. We just need another action figure.
Where does she keep his ass? Just like in the fucking plant lair?
Does he eat dirt? What is he? He's so fucking weird. And then she goes to Gotham City, right? Because she's like, oh, I don't know. She's like, Bruce, you gotta fucking do something about the environment. He's like, nah. And then and then she just drops that. She just doesn't care about that anymore. Because then she goes to like steal. She wants to kill Batman for no reason. So she shows up to Bruce's diamond auction that he's trying to lure Mr. Freeze out with his
diamond that he's lending to the city. And then she shows up and tries to make everyone horny for her. And then she sees Mr. Freeze and she's like, oh, actually, I'm going to make that guy horny for me. And I'm going to team up with that guy who's the complete opposite of me. He wants to freeze the world and I want to make it plants, so our plan doesn't work together anyway, which is baffling that no one pointed that out in the writing room. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Mr. Freeze is going to freeze the planet. Poison Ivy's like, hell yeah, that would be great for my plants. Like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
When they talk that out, she's like, you exterminate all the humans and then my plants will come up. Like, no, they won't. There's going to be fucking 10
so stupid. Ice. I would have loved to see the movie where that actually plays out and how they handle that scenario, where Batman loses and it's Mr. Freeze freezes the planet and Poison Ivy's like, so when can my plants come out?
And then within 2 weeks, they both starved to death because they froze the entire planet. Mr. Freeze's like, I'm so hungry.
He has to eat Poison Ivy. They eat Bane first, obviously, but then it's winner take all.
It makes no sense. Again, with the plots of the villains,
so bad,
makes no sense.
Dude, Poison Ivy's last words in this movie are curses. Literally, Batgirl shows up, kicks her into her own plant, and Poison Ivy screams, "Curses!" That's the end of her.
I don't know why her own plant chomps down.
Exactly.
She was sitting in that when they got there. Like, it wasn't chomping down on her.
Yeah, you couldn't have more lazy writing than having one of your main villains literally scream curses. Like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking 3 years old?
Did
Curses!
she die from that? Does that kill her?
No, I think she's like in jail. No, because remember she's in Arkham at the end, and Freeze shows up for whatever fucking reason.
When
she tried to
when
kill
did they
Nora.
go back and arrest her? Like at what point did they like? Oh shit! Wait, she's still in that plant. We gotta go get her.
I don't know. Gordon probably scooped her up. He's like, Batman's not killing him anymore. I guess I gotta pick him up now.
Yeah, and the whole love dust thing was just every scene with her blowing love dust everywhere. Like, totally takes the momentum of the scene and stops it dead in its tracks because now everyone just has a fucking boner.
Yeah. Yeah, Bruce has to be like, Dick, stop being so horny all the time. He's like, you don't understand or appreciate me. I'm going solo. Like, dude, get the blood out of your penis. And
he screams that he's going solo, and then he doesn't, and then that's just that.
He has no plan. He just literally is rock hard, and he's just rock hard in between scenes, and then he has things to say, and then he goes back to he must be just sitting in his room staring at the wall, so horny, just fuming, getting angrier and angrier.
Also, dude, every time they get suited up in this movie, shots of their asses. Yeah. So many shots of their rubber butts.
When they did it with the Batgirl too, I'm like, is this the reason they had to do it for the men? Because they wanted to show off her tush, but then they didn't want to be
they felt weird about it.
It's weird that she doesn't have nipples either, by the way. If we're gonna go for it.
Oh, I thought she did. She doesn't?
I don't think so. I don't think they could get away with that. I don't think she does.
They probably asked the actress, fucking Hilary Duff, whoever that is. And they were like, hey, we're gonna do nipples. She was like, no, you most certainly are not.
You're like, come on, we did it for the guys. There's Joel Schumacher's secret plan all along. He's like, gotta get this movie with the one girl. Well, that's when we'll add in the nipples.
Once and for all.
Dude, and her costume is dog shit. But you know when it's not dog shit? When she actually has the cowl on. She has a cowl on for like 5 seconds in the movie. I'm like, oh shit, hell yeah. Like, that actually looks kind of cool. Rips it off. This sucks.
Nope. I'm hot. Remember, you gotta look at my face.
You gotta see my whole forehead.
Like, that's where the money is.
I got this billboard forehead.
I like the scene at the end of Batman Forever and Batman and Robin where they have them running from the spotlight with the silhouettes, because in the silhouette they all look good.
They look good, yeah.
And I like seeing the team come together like that, but I hate seeing them actually on screen. And George Clooney has no emotional range whatsoever in this movie.
He's got no charisma. I don't know what he's doing.
when I saw that it was him, I was like, oh fuck, he's gonna do good. Like he's a sexy like guy, right? He's like, he'd be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And he does so bad.
It's almost like he didn't give a fuck. Like, well, he must not have given a fuck.
He really didn't. And
yeah.
I mean, the writing doesn't do many favors. But like Alfred is dying, and he's just like, yeah, Alfred's dying.
Man,
so
that's sad.
We can't do anything, so we're just gonna just let him die.
I'm not even gonna talk to him about it. I'll just come home one day and he'll be dead in the Batcave.
I'll push him over the edge.
Dump him over into the depths. The rest of my butlers.
Alfred's just gonna send out this like barely encrypted CD with all the Batman stuff to his brother and literally doesn't know where he is. Just send this thing out into the world.
Wait, what do you mean? He had encrypted Batman stuff on that DVD? I thought he was just like,
yeah, no, because he was like, there's something he has to attend to. That whole DVD was like told him the story of Batman so that he could be his new butler. He's like, I'm gonna die, but Batman needs a fucking butler. Like, I can't do this, but you're my brother. And like, you're going to come do this now, which I was like, that's kind of a nice thing, but really poorly planned. Like Batman proof, throw it out on the planet Earth and just hope he finds the right guy.
Well, at this point in the series, who doesn't know that Bruce Wayne is Batman? Like fucking Vicky Vale is still on the loose. Pulitzer Prize winning journalist Vicky Vale knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Fucking
the Riddler knows deep down, but he's insane.
Catwoman is still alive too.
She knows. She definitely knows.
Yeah, she for sure knows. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking. It's just out of control.
This one's really bad.
If you had to pinpoint one thing that's your least favorite part of this whole movie, what would it be?
Probably the fact that at one point somebody is like, "Oh, like the Ice Age killed." Oh no! All right, you like want to hear a joke? And he's like, or something. He's like, "What killed the dinosaurs?" And he's like, "The Ice Age." No, it didn't.
It's not even like, correct.
It's not even close. You're like 330 million years off. Like the Ice Age just happened, killed basically nobody.
The Ice Age.
Like
it's so bad and wrong. It's just so egregiously, unapologetically terrible.
So that, like, as a geologist, I really annoyed me. I'm like, everybody who wrote this is stupid. The worst part of this movie for me fully is the writing and the dialogue.
It's
like,
really bad.
They're all written like dumb shits, just absolute dumb shits with no plan, who make puns, who just want to fuck each other.
Dude, the scene where they're auctioning Ivy and they're just going back and forth, be like 10 million, 20 million, and he takes out like the fucking the Visa MasterCard Batman card.
God.
Like it was literally an ad for fucking MasterCard in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
So
hey,
weird.
Guess what? 25 years later, nobody wants you, MasterCard. Nobody will take you anywhere.
And it's because of this movie.
You're scum.
You are a scum, and you ruined Batman. The one positive thing about this movie is that it was so bad that they just stopped making these movies and gave Christopher Nolan the full rights. They're like, do whatever you want. We're so desperate for a hit. And we got Batman Begins, and that movie is so fucking good.
That was, what year was that? You know, off the top of your head?
2005 was Batman Begins. This Batman and Robin is 97.
97.
So it's only 8 years later. They're like, fuck it. Let's just make one of the best Batman movies. Dude, I couldn't imagine being like a conscious movie goer and then seeing Batman and Robin and being like, fuck, that sucked. And then 8 years later being like, wait a second. What the fuck? It's so different. Better. So much better. And Batman, unrelated, Batman Begins is like right there with The Dark Knight for me. Like they're like neck and neck.
It's not that close for me, but it's absolutely the second best one. Like, but it's not as close. Dark Knight really fucking hits.
Oh, The Dark Knight really fucking hits. But I don't know. Batman Begins. There's just, I mean, Liam Neeson's.
Yeah, Ra's al Ghul's sick in that movie. Also, Nicholas Crane, because they have
Jonathan Crane.
Oh, John. I was going to say Nicholas.
I don't know.
Oh, I want to say Nicholas. Yeah, Jonathan Crane, who's played by Cillian Murphy. Or how do you pronounce his fucking name?
I think it's either Cillian or Killian. It depends how
It's
nasty
such-
you
Killian's real trashy.
are. He's Irish.
That's a fucking good movie.
That's such a good.
Yeah,
fucking
really.
movie.
In 8 years, a full 180. You did three 180s.
Yeah, it's
so
like, all
good.
right, hey, you guys seeing Batman and Robin? Well, how about 3 fucking movies that are way better?
Oh man. So what's your final ranking for these? You like 2 and then 1.
My ranking goes Batman Returns, Batman 89, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. Like it,
Okay.
but Batman and Robin, like, hold on, let me pull up my actual ratings. If you want to go, I'll give you my numbers afterwards.
Yeah, I'm curious. So mine definitely is Batman Forever is my favorite, just purely for Val Kilmer reasons. And number 2 is Batman. Number 3 is Batman Returns, and number 4 is Batman and Robin. So we got some varying lists there. Batman and Robin, obviously, Garbo.
So bad. All right, so I gave Batman a 3.5 out of 5. I gave Batman Returns a 4 out of 5. I gave Batman Forever a 2 out of 5, but I did like it. And then I gave Batman and Robin a 1. Easy 1. The only reason it's not a half is because I think you can get like, I think it would be a fun movie to like watch with a friend if you were drinking or something. Like it's so egregiously terrible. I think it could be fun to watch as as ironically, I think would be fun to watch.
It's so bad though.
It's so bad though.
I really
just
don't
to show it to someone who's
again.
never seen it before. Just be like, you want to see like one of the worst movies that was ever produced
of all time.
Definitely, like that movie is definitely high budget too because it's the 4th in like a series of successful blockbusters. I'm sure they actually, I don't know if it lost money, but I'm sure it was
probably
pretty
probably
expensive.
made money and then was absolutely hated by the general public.
Probably bombed
like,
critically
Ew.
and didn't have any legs. Like it probably did well like its opening weekend, and then everyone was like,
Yep.
oh
no.
Oh, I heard that movie actually sucked fat dick.
Well, that's pretty much all I have on these. I don't have anything else that I want to throw in.
Yeah, I think that's it for me too. So we can wrap it up.
Watching them is definitely fun. If you haven't seen them, they're definitely worth a watch through because it's just like historical at this point.
Yeah, I think the first 3 definitely like are a good watch. If you want to just see like where it all started with like I mean, obviously there were the Superman movies in the 70s, but I feel like Batman really kind of kicked off the superhero movie genre that we're still in.
Yeah, I agree because it set forward a lot of really focused on the villains too, and they had a lot of different villains in a very comic booky way that felt like, oh, we can do this with anybody.
Yeah,
like
it definitely kind of made the formula.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Pat, for joining me today.
Yes.
And oh no, I couldn't hold in the burp. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
Fuck.
No one's gonna hear that burp.